Exclusive.
Hey guys, this is Emily from the Gag Me with a Knife podcast, and welcome to our very first YouTube exclusive, where Alex or I will be interviewing people about topics related to the slasher genre, such as rankings, lists, discussions, etc., that you might not necessarily get in our podcasts. Tonight, I have with us my good friend and Sleepaway Camp enthusiast, Brad Fowler. We're going to give out some Sleepaway Camp superlatives, do some rankings, and who knows what else about the Sleepaway Camp Trilogy. Hey, Brad.
Hey, let's talk about some Sleepaway Camp movies.
Hell yeah. So let's get it started with, I wanted to do some superlatives like, in your high school yearbook, it's, Mr. or Miss MHS or whatever, and, most unique, class clown, stuff like that. So we're going to do that with the 3 Sleepaway Camp movies. We are going to ignore the short film as well as Return. So let's get it going.
All right. Do you want to start off with the bottom of my list, or?
Yeah, let's do Mr. and Miss Sleepaway Camp last.
Okay. That's how I thought it would be.
So I will, go ahead.
Most likely to be killed. Tony from part 3. As we know, Tony's a survivor at the end of part 3, but he does mention that he is a gang in East LA. Mm-hmm. And statistics are against him.
That is true. Yeah, I think I would. I would probably go with Bobby, but I mean, look at him. Maybe just because
do you think if Bobby didn't get his arms ripped off, he would end up assassinated?
Yes, as a politician. Yeah. Okay. Or just by saying that Rambo Part 3 is the greatest American film. Your next one.
Most camp spirited. Angela. From Sleepaway Camp Part 2.
Okay, I was about to say from which one?
No, definitely Sleepaway Camp Part 2. That's kind of the way I see these movies is I think in Sleepaway Camp Part 2, she doesn't show up to camp with intent to kill anybody. It just, right. Yeah. She hears the story about herself and it kind of flicks on, and then all the moral choices that her fellow counselors are making.
And she's not really spirited at all in the first one, so.
Yeah, exactly.
But I go with Ricky. So I pick Ricky for most camp spirited.
He does like camp.
He loves it. Mm-hmm. All right. Next up, what you got?
All right. Friendliest goes to Susie from Sleepaway Camp Part 1. She goes out of her way at least 3 or 4 times in that movie to defend Angela. And
yeah, I go with Molly and Sean, I think, from Part 2.
Yeah. Molly and Sean definitely are friendly. But I will say, yeah, they don't have any scenes where they defend other campers.
Right, you're right. Susie is definitely the nicest, probably out of all the movies.
All right, the next up is most dependable and most intelligent. It's a double elective for Demi from Sleepaway Camp 2. She's the one that calls up all the girls that Angela sent.
Yeah, she's the one that's you're gonna tell.
Yeah,
that's why Angela.
Oh no, she's the.
Well, she's the one that when Angela kills her, she says it's because she's gonna tell.
No, that's the person afterwards. She finds Demi. And she goes,
right.
What did I do?
Oh,
she
you're
goes,
right.
You're going to tell.
Sorry, I was thinking back to an alcoholic moment between Alex and I where we just kept saying, you're going to tell, and I think we just messed it up. Yeah. All right. So, and you had her as dependable and intelligent?
Yeah, because she's dependable because she followed up. She was like, hey, I'm going to call up my friends I made this year, or, see how they're doing.
Yeah,
and she's intelligent that she started piecing together. Hey, no one's made it home.
I think I put Mozart as most intelligent.
Is he?
I don't really know. I guess I really didn't think anyone was very intelligent in these movies. So, I mean, he's really good at the video game. I don't know. I just figured, with his glasses and stuff, he probably was, smart at school.
Yeah, Mozart's weird. Yeah, he's like the Screech of that movie.
Except for I bet you that, well, Dustin Diamond's dead, but I bet you that he turned out to be a lot better human being than Dustin Diamond. I'm just going to go out on a limb there.
We'll go ahead and cut that one. All right. Going on to best looking. I chose TC from Sleepaway Camp 2.
Wow.
And TC has a look that is so perfectly 1998. I wrote this down.
88?
Yeah, 1988. TC looks like his personality type is 1988 Isuzu Trooper. Like, he dies by his own car battery acid, but that car battery had to come out of a Isuzu Trooper. You can tell. That's just that guy.
Yeah, he's that guy. And the mullet for days. I went best looking. I went with Allie, and I really I put Sean because, but when I was younger and I watched this movie, it was totally Ricky. I was in love with Ricky. I thought he was the cutest. And at the time, he was older than me when I was watching it. So now that doesn't seem like it would be appropriate. But at the time, he was, I was 8 and he was, 14 or something. So that's who I had.
Mm-hmm. All right. For biggest flirt, I did write 2 people down for biggest flirt because I felt like that was always a superlative. They really made sure that you had a male and a female.
And it's always usually like a biggest. I don't want to slut shame, but it's usually biggest slut. So
biggest fun person,
most promiscuous.
Yeah. I chose Allie from Sleepaway Camp Part 2 and Bobby from Sleepaway Camp Part 3.
Man, Bobby, ew.
Yeah,
Bobby, I mean, I guess, biggest flirt doesn't have to mean you're good at it.
Yeah, no. Sometimes biggest flirts, you're just fishing and you just got to mention, hey, I like to be tied up.
It's like basically like, you're poor. I thought you'd be into this. Like, he's ridiculous. For biggest flirt, I actually put the Shote sisters, both of them. If they had lived longer, I think they would have outdone Allie, honestly. But,
yeah.
And I'm also just a big fan of the Shote sisters. I really, really love them.
Yeah, I love the Shote sisters as well. Like, yeah.
All right.
All right, moving on. Most athletic. I wrote TC from Sleepaway Camp Part 2 again. Because I've got a feeling. I don't think these were L.A. actors.
No, it was filmed in Georgia. Was it filmed in
Waco, Georgia?
Yeah, Georgia. That's what I thought.
Yeah, Waco, Georgia. But TC had to try out for American Gladiators, right? Like, it's built like that. I don't know. I want more movies with TC.
I went deep and put Gino from Part 1.
Gino from Part 1.
Yeah, just because of the shirt that he wears, the belly shirt that he wears, that in itself.
I almost put Mozart for that badass catch he does.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Catch.
Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm. All right. Best dressed. Here it is. Aunt Martha.
Oh, my God.
Aunt Martha's got this fit.
Listen, I put Kenny.
Really?
Kenny has his shirts are always awesome. He's got really awesome rock t-shirts. I put Ronnie too, just because, I mean, come on.
Also, the guy from Part 3. The
Snowboy?
No, not Snowboy. I've got kind of a Snowboy thing going on.
Yeah, you do have a Snowboy thing going on.
But no, I love Aunt Martha. She's got 2 fits in the movie, and both of them are
outrageous,
wild.
Yeah,
they are. It's berets, and
I think Judy's. I like Judy's style too. I mean, her side ponytail has a life of its own on the internet now. So,
most likely to succeed, Marcia from Sleepaway Camp 3. She's the only one to, I think, ever really tag Angela. She stabs her multiple times, and she just ices Tony.
Oh my God! Because she is
ices.
such a good. You think she is? She almost tops Molly as being just this like. Can she do anything wrong? And then at the end, there she goes. Well, I have a boyfriend at home.
Yeah. So she's most likely to succeed. She'll be all right. That's people like Marcia do well in life.
You know, that was a superlative that I just ended up taking out because I couldn't think of anybody.
Nah, Marcia's a winner.
But I agree with that. Yeah.
She's going to be whoever would have taken Bobby's place at the Senate. Marcia's going to be their wife.
Yep. Oh God. Can you imagine? Oh my God. You know, the funny thing is there are a bunch of politicians in the Senate and the House of Representatives right now, probably just like old Bobby.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Who think Rambo 3 is the greatest American film. So.
Like, no, have you seen the new ones? They actually follow up really well. Okay, next up, Class Clown. It's also a double on this one. It's Anthony and Judd from Sleepaway Camp Part 2. They will spend their arts and crafts time to make, as Judd says, make Angela Dookie.
And they're the Tip Patrol, right?
No, that's different.
Oh, no, those are the two kids.
Anthony and Judd are the...
Yeah. They're the ones that dress up.
Freddie and Jason.
They're the ones that dress up, right? My class clown was Ricky. I mean, the joke that he pulls on Mozart is classic.
Oh, yeah.
And his line, when Bill says, "Eat shit and die, Ricky. Eat shit and live, Bill." Come on. And just his like whole diatribes of just over the top cursing are hilarious. And his cowboy hat that he wears, I mean, everything he does is hilarious to me. So, yeah.
No, Ricky's great. I do like Ricky a lot, actually.
Yeah, Ricky's a great character.
Most unique is Maria from Sleepaway Camp Part 3. We only see her in the first 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
She has a milkshake tattooed on her breast.
Yep.
In a time way before that was normal.
Yeah.
Now we live in a time where people get like double bacon cheeseburgers tattooed on their hands and like stuff. But
that was something Alex and I discussed. Yeah, we discussed it. He asked if I thought Angela also got milkshake tattooed on her tits. Which I was like, no way. She would never. That's so immoral.
No.
I put Mozart as most unique. So. I mean, he came up quite a bit in my list.
I thought that Maria that made her stand out to me.
Yes, yeah, no, I agree. She's a good character for only being in it for 3 minutes or something.
All right, Mr. and Miss Sleepaway Camp. Do you want to do yours first?
I'm gonna. There are a few that I have not told you.
Oh, okay.
About. I'm just gonna ask you off the cuff. Okay. Biggest perv.
Oh,
There's so many on this one.
Boiling Cook.
Chef. Yeah, the chef.
Yeah.
I had the chef as well. I also had Herman from Part 3.
Herman? Okay, can we talk about Herman for a second?
Yeah, we can talk about Herman.
Okay.
He's been in a shit ton of movies, too.
I know. Herman and Lily are the weirdest pairing together.
Yeah.
Because Lily is like an evil aunt from a Disney Channel original movie is basically how she plays it.
Yeah.
And Herman gives off a vibe like he eats little boys' assholes for breakfast every day. And I mean like a bowl full of little boys' assholes with milk. Like, he is the creepiest fucking vibe. And yeah, I've seen him in a lot of movies. And for some reason in this movie, it is fucking gross.
Yeah, he's wild. I also had Bobby in there. I mean,
Bobby, yeah, but the chef, the shit that he says in that movie is ridiculous.
The Baldies, back where we come from, these call them Baldies, and the fact that what's the guy's name? Hits his dad. The dad is the guy that plays the other cook, Star Wars voice. Who did Star Wars? The Darth Vader's voice.
It's Robert Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones' dad plays. It's like they're too young to even know what you're. And I'm like, why are you just like
Robert?
Yeah, I think
Jones.
But I'm like, you're just like laughing off that this guy is like clearly gonna try to have sex with like, these kids at the camp. Okay. Like, I don't know. Maybe you should tell somebody that this is happening.
I don't know.
So I have a few on this one, but biggest assholes you love to hate.
I do like Allie.
Yeah,
I do like Allie, and she is a big asshole.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with, I have 3. Allie, Judy, and Kenny. And you know what? Let's throw in Meg as well.
Meg? No. I knew you were going to try to squeeze in Meg there. Oh.
I love her. I do. But I love Judy more. I think Judy, I think Judy is a more iconic love to hate than Allie. Mm-hmm. But Kenny's just one of my favorite characters of all time. And he is awful, but he is so great, and I love him so much. So those were the 2 that I was, just going to see what you had to say.
All right.
Who are your Mr. and Mrs. Sleepaway Camp?
Well, when I thought about Mr. and Mrs. Sleepaway Camp, I was thinking of Camp Aronach. What is it? Arawak, Camp Rolling Hills, and Camp New Horizons.
Right.
And I had to think of the people who were the purest.
Okay.
So I did
the same thing. Yeah.
We actually have a Mr. and Mr. Sleepaway Camp. It's Ricky from Sleepaway Camp 1 and Tony from Sleepaway Camp 3. I mean, it's 2021. The world's ready for this. Like,
I think, the world is ready for this.
But these are the people who, they are pure. In all these movies, they have the best intentions all the time.
Yeah, I originally put Paul and Molly, but I think I would change Paul to Ricky. And I don't really like Molly that much, but she's just so pure in the movie that, Yep. But I mean, I think we are ready for a Mr. and Mr. So.
But also, I think these are the only 2 people that can possibly accept the award. Other than Marsha, maybe. So there's that too.
That is true. Or, Pam, I mean, Angela might come back and accept it for somebody else. Who knows?
And also, I want to mention that
you love Tony. I'm just gonna
exactly. And I was about to mention that
like TC and Tony are your guys.
We can't get 2 crowns. If one of them has to wear a tiara, I want it to be Tony because I don't know why. I just kind of like that.
I'm surprised that TC's not on your Mr. Sleepaway Camp.
No. I just think TC's look is very of the time in a way that a lot of people's looks in the second and third one are of the time. TC is a special.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right. Like, because, for example, Allie's look is very of the time, but I would like her style now. Like, I would wear her hair. Like, I would wear that hairstyle now. Mm-hmm. I would not do anything that TC's doing, or Ronnie for that matter, from part 1. Okay, so moving on. I know that you do not. I know that we are not going to agree on this. So, best movie of the 3, and defend it, because let me just go ahead and give mine. Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to give you a lot of time to defend what you're going to say, because you're not going to agree with me. Mm-hmm. One is the best movie in my opinion. The effects are great. I don't think the acting is terrible. I think the cinematography's good. I think they've got for child actors, they've got quite a few good ones there. The special effects are amazing. The ending is, at this point, people know it, but, being an 8-year-old and seeing this, I guess seeing it at the time when it came out, I don't know how, that's insane, that's insanity. So that's my number 1. And go on with what do you think the best of the 3?
I think the best of the 3, this is so weird. I feel like I need to flip a coin. Yeah, I'm just going to choose number 2 off the bat. I'm just, okay, and I do think the fact that they are basically the same production. I mean, it's within 6 weeks. 2 and 3 are inseparable, but I will say 3 kind of doesn't make sense unless you've seen the previous 2. 2, I don't feel like you have to see the original.
No, I mean, they give all the information up front. like as if it's just like Madman, Madman Mars or whatever. It's a campfire story, and that's all you need to know, really.
And I will say, 2 being my favorite, 3 would be my second, and my third pick would be the original, just because I cannot express how much I do not like this movie. I watched it last night.
You really dislike the first one that much?
It's weird. And okay, so I pegged it down last night because I watched it last night, and like I told my partner while I was watching it, I was like, this is the last time I will ever watch this piece of shit movie.
It's shocking.
And I pinned it down. One of the things that drives me nuts in it, and it's how long the death scenes take.
What do you mean, that for them to start happening?
No, like this happens within the first 4 minutes of the movie, like the boat scene where it's just like, turn the boat.
Yeah.
Cut to them, cut to the drivers, cut to the turn the boat. And we go through that shit like 5 times, and it takes so long. We know that they're going to run over.
Right, but what about the other ones?
And then the cook getting boiled.
I like the length of that one. I thought it was cool that they'd spent the time to like show the effects of like the blisters popping and all that.
Yeah, it's so long and drawn out. But then I also, things that I realized that I did like about it is a lot of the dialogue is great. Like, and that's how I kind of knew about that movie before I saw it, was like, oh yeah, like bands I like would lift quotes from it for song titles and stuff. And also Ricky's foul ass mouth is great in it.
Well, that's my favorite part of Sleepaway Camp, and it's probably, it's in my top 5 favorite movies. And I remember when I met Felissa Rose, I went on and on about the baseball scene, which she's not even in. But I love, and I am a big fan. Alex and I talk about this a lot in the podcast. I am a big fan of the scenes where there is no death happening, because if you can keep my attention when there's no death happening and you get a good camaraderie, I really love that. And this movie has a lot of that, where there's just scenes where, it's a horror movie, but there's not a death that's about to happen at all, but it's still entertaining. So
yeah. And
so you think you would have liked it if it was just a comedy, maybe?
Well, but that's the thing. When it comes to the second and third one, the one-liners, and one thing I've realized also, like just running a marathon of them last night, is one of the things that I like about it is Pamela Springsteen is running around killing people with the cadence of like a late 80s, early 90s Oil of Olay commercial where she's like, word on the street is dry skin is a killer. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I've watched a lot of America's Next Top Model lately.
Yeah. So I watched Sleepaway Camp for the first time probably like 10 years ago. I think you showed it to me, and it was like, oh, okay. I woke up, like the TV was running, and I woke up during the flagpole scene of Sleepaway Camp 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, what is this? And I would never watch 2 or 3 based on how I felt about Sleepaway Camp 1. And I watched the rest of 3, and I was like, oh man, I got to see these movies. And 2 days later, it was like Sleepaway Camp 2 was on. It was right at the beginning of quarantine. I had nothing to do. I was like, let's watch this. And then right after Sleepaway Camp 3 played, and I probably watched each of these movies about 8 or 9 times in the past year.
Yeah, 2 and 3, I've done the same thing. I realized when I gave my ratings on the podcast, I gave 2 a higher rating than part 3. But to be quite honest, I really go back and forth between those 2. And it really depends on my mood of which one I like more. And I've also said this before, I'll say it again. I used to have the box set that looked like the American Cross sued them, and so they had to take it out. Set. Yeah, but it had all the deleted extended death scenes, and that flagpole death scene extended is the gnarliest thing I've ever seen, and it's up there with the sleeping bag, the extended sleeping bag kill in Friday the 13th Part 7 of man, I want those extended kills to be in those movies. I don't care if it doesn't line up with how the rest of the movie looks. I just want it in there. So, all right. Well, I think you defend. I mean, the second and third one have a completely different feel than the first one. And so, I mean,
yeah,
it makes sense, and it makes sense knowing your taste.
Oh yeah.
That sounded rude when I said it. But
No,
I mean,
no.
it
I
makes
like
sense.
more lighthearted, campy fare. Like, no. And, I mean, it plays to what
And
I
I
like.
do like the campy fare, but you go a little further with it, and we'll be discussing this later, but not in this episode. But trauma stuff like that.
Yeah,
That I'm not really into as much of.
And you also know that, like, we've talked, like, previously on how I kind of like inventive kills, and I think I think
all of them did that with this.
Not like Sleepaway Camp 1 has the beehive.
I mean, Sleepaway Camp 1 has kills in it that you won't see. I mean, especially in 1982.
I mean, the curling iron is.
I mean, and if we could ever get a hold of that footage, I mean,
I'm good on that one.
damn.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to do kills?
Well, I think we should go into kills because since we're talking about that anyway, I wanted you to give your. This is the last thing that I have specifically to talk about. Then I was going to let you, briefly whatever you want to talk about with it, but top 5 kills.
Okay, top 5 kills going 5 to 1.
Right.
Number 5, I actually wrote your girl Meg from Sleepaway Camp 1, and it's not because I like the kill.
You don't like Meg.
No, I like when the pervy counselor finds her.
It's not the counselor, it's the cop with the mustache.
No. It's the pervy counselor because she's gonna hook up with him that night.
I'm sorry. You're right. He's the camp director. The camp
Christopher
director.
Walken, and he goes, "No, not you, Meg. So young and beautiful. I'll find
I'm gonna find him."
And so what it sounds
What
like.
is his name? He's the camp director. I can't think of his name right now.
It's your movie.
Yeah. Well.
But what it sounds like, next time you watch it like this, that he stabbed Meg and he's making the 911 call. And you're like, oh no, paramedics, not Meg, so young.
He sounds like he's trying to do Taxi Driver meets slasher.
And I really enjoyed that last night. I was like, oh, this is going on my favorite kills just because like this discovery is the best.
My number 5 is the chef. The chef kill. I like the effects in it. I like the bubbling of the. It's the. I guess his right bottom cheek, but when you're looking at it, it's the left bottom. It bubbles out. I thought that was so cool. It's so you can feel it, and who knows if he actually died though. We don't really know if that's a kill, to be quite honest. So
I mean, yeah.
I mean, regardless, he's never going to be able to see again, I guess is what they say, but whatever.
Yeah.
He was clearly never able to tell on Angela, so.
Really? Yeah.
Anyway, number 4.
They got pegged on her after.
Well, yeah, I mean, they arrested her, so.
Yeah. But number 4 is Lily with the lawnmower kill.
It's one of Alex's favorites.
Yeah, that one's great. Just squawking and seemingly not being able to get up.
I put Judy. It's horrific. And I just love how bitchy she is still, like right before she's about to get killed. I mean, she just doesn't stop. It's just like, girl, like calm down. You've had a couple chances to like maybe be nice.
Mm-hmm. All right. My number 3, Bobby, who was set to become a politician. I'm sure that he would have, passed many legislations that
he would have been that guy that got the
mowed down forces.
He would have been the guy that got caught with the pictures, the wiener guy. Mm-hmm. That would have been him.
But
anyway.
It's just very,
his arms get
Matter of
ripped
fact,
off.
that he's a reverse tree hugger the way that he dies.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool death scene.
My number 3 is Billy's death from part 1, the bees. I know it's it's not really, it doesn't really make much sense that there would be that many bees or anything like that. But it's still a cool effect. It looks cool. That the bees are just completely covering him. I like the effect on his arms of the where they're eating into his arms and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
the purple swelling and all that.
and you do get a chance to really hate him. And he's not he's not you love to hate him. You just hate him. He's no Kenny. I mean, I wish Kenny had been in it longer, but I digress. I need to get an interview with Kenny is what I need to do.
Number 2, Cindy with the flagpole scene.
Yep.
Cindy, that's just one of the best. That's one of the best out of 80s horror movies. Is just a very inventive way to kill somebody. Very cheap to shoot.
Alex knows it better than me, but the whole quote before she puts her up the flagpole, you're this and you're a bigot and you're a cheerleader and you're real nice.
Other than all that, you're real nice. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the best. And yeah, the cheerleader thing is weird. It's like, you're a fornicator, you're a drug user.
Yeah, it's like all this really bad stuff, and then like you're a cheerleader.
Like, but it was like they set Cindy up to where you cannot wait to see her.
Oh my god! I mean, because she's for real bad. I mean, she's throwing out the N word.
Yeah.
That I mean,
and,
even in 1989, like that's I mean. She's got to go. My number 2 is Allie's death from the Outhouse. I think that's a pretty iconic death in horror movies in general. I've talked about this before. Katie, my old roommate, one of my very best friends. Shout out to Katie Mosley. She's not a movie watcher. Her ADD is way too bad. She just doesn't really watch a lot of movies. But this is one movie she had seen, and she was like, "No, that's the one with the outhouse death." And I was like, "How have you literally seen nothing? Like she's not no classics."
Well,
but
if you see it once, you're going to remember it,
right?
too.
Yeah. So. And I do like that Allie throws back to Kenny's death in part 1. She does the little wave from while she's drowning. She waves out of the toilet as Kenny does when he's drowning under the boat in part 1. So I like that little connection. I don't know if they meant to do that, but I like to think that they did. So
yep.
And your number 1.
That leads into my number 1.
Let me give my number 1 because I'd like you to have your.
Okay.
I'd like you to have your moment with your number 1. Okay. So my number 1's the flagpole death, Cindy's flagpole death. Yeah. I think it's, I put it up there, especially with the extended, the deleted extended cut of that death. I really put it up there with that sleeping bag death in part 7 of Friday the 13th, which is, one of the most iconic kills of all time in a slasher movie. I think it's up there with it. So that's my number 1. Cindy flagpole, her brains are splattered on the concrete. So your number 1.
My number 1 is Allie with shit soup. Our number 1s and 2s are the same. Yeah, shit soup. I mean, so it starts
Leeches too.
Yeah, she starts off, she gets stabbed in the spine twice and then somehow still walks. The entire time, Angela's beating her with the stick. And
which she uses in part 3 as well. It's the same stick.
And that's the thing. Jason likes a machete. Michael Myers likes a butcher knife. Or like, not a butcher, but like a kitchen knife.
Yeah, it's a butcher knife.
And, Angela loves a stick, which is actually pretty smart. Is like, what would you kill someone in the woods with? Oh, you got sticks everywhere.
Yeah.
But then somehow she stuffs her in the
so far
outhouse.
down. So far down. It's like this outhouse is a bottomless pit of. I mean, I don't know how you would go that far down into a into a porta potty. It's beyond me, but
and all the lines where they're like, "What do you see down there? It's one of your favorite words." Shit, yeah, because you've been a shitty friend.
And you know what? She really wasn't that bad of a friend. I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, she had moments where she was nice. she when she comes back and she comes back and scares them after she's had sex with the guy.
Some of them boys.
well, she comes back after she's had sex with dude. She comes back and she is kind of nice to them at that point. You know, she just doesn't like Molly because she wants Sean, which is. I mean, you see that happen all the time. So I'm not going to give her shit for that. So,
yeah. Well, someone did give her shit for it. And that was Angela.
Literal. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, just like the Flagpole Scene, you just don't see that in other movies.
No.
It's like, it's like the water heater scene from Halloween 2, but shit.
Which is actually my favorite Halloween movie. Yeah. Funny that you say that. And I'm not a big fan of those, but yeah.
All right. Can I talk about my favorite Angela moment?
What else do you want to talk about with these sleepaway camps? We have a little bit of time left.
Basically, if if you've only seen the first one and it turned you off,
I don't think it really turns most people off, Brad. I'm just gonna be real with.
There's gotta be other people out there like me. They gotta be out there.
Okay, but I'm just saying most people do consider it a classic slasher, so.
And those people are fine.
I know, I'm one of them. So.
But here's what I'm saying. If you're like me and you like 2 or 3 more and you don't like the first one, that's okay. Mm-hmm. But if you only like the first one and you don't like 2 and 3, stay the fuck away from me. If you know me and you're listening to this and that's your opinion, walk away next time you see me, motherfucker.
It's bizarre. The Hysteria Continues is a slasher podcast that I highly recommend that I listen to. They've been around for 10 years, actually, and they've got some people on there that are one of them's written a whole amazing book about slashers. They're awesome. But Nathan, one of the guys, he's very into all of these, and he loves part 3. That's his favorite. He has basically almost the same taste that I do with slashers. Mm-hmm. The other guys, if I recall correctly, they haven't even done part 3 yet, but when they did part 2, those guys hated it, and I was just like, what? Like, what kind of mindset did you... I really do think that they just went into it with the wrong mindset. Mm-hmm. Because it's not a parody. It's not like Scary Movie or like Student Bodies or Pandemonium or anything, or Repossessed. It's not like that, but it's a black comedy. It's not supposed to be like the first one.
Yeah. It's it's definitely a break in the entire franchise.
But I watched them when I was younger, right after I watched the first one, and I loved them. So I don't know. But I guess, you know.
Yeah, no, they're just, like I said, I've only known about these movies for the past year, and they have turned into some of my favorite movies to watch. Like, this is going to be like, it's like joining the world of like Forbidden Planet and Howzoo and stuff. Is like stuff where I watch when I'm sick to feel good. Like,
no, they definitely are movies to watch when you like are really feeling shitty. I totally agree with that.
Yep. And I just kind of want to leave you with my favorite Angela moment out of all these movies. I
see you have some more stuff about TC, but.
Well, no,
you already said that stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, I know you love TC, so I was making sure you didn't have anything else to say about TC.
No.
Maybe we can get an interview with him too. I mean,
those just the Isuzu Trooper joke. Just really wanted to get that in there. Okay. But my favorite Angela moment is in Sleepaway Camp 3 when Barney realizes that Maria is Angela,
right,
and that. It's coming down to, he declares earlier in the film that if he ever meets Angela, he's going to kill her. So it starts off, he goes, "Are you going to kill me too?" Angela nods. He goes, "How are you going to do it? A knife, a drill, or a chainsaw? Fire, battery acid? Or are you just going to cut my head off like you did my son's? Come on, Ange. What's it going to
This is
be?
one of my favorites.
And she just goes, a gun. And shoots it twice. It's the most anticlimactic shit, and it is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, a gun.
A gun.
And
it sounds like a mid-90s Capcom arcade machine or something like a gun.
Yeah, Alex and I discussed this quite a bit in our part 3 podcast at the fact that, they could have done more with this. It's like, this is a huge realization. I mean, this is like Sean's dad. This is the guy that arrested her, and it's just it's over in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, but I mean, I love how so like he's acting all big and bad, and yeah, she's just walking up on him the old time, and then he's like, a knife, a drill, and she's shaking her head no, and he goes, a chainsaw, and she kind of considers it like, well, that would have been cool if I had one.
Yeah.
And then fire, battery acid, or you just go like, and he a gun, blam, blam. It's like, it's something that's been building over 2 movies and just addressed,
and then just very quick.
And that's kind of what I like about it. Like, I love how the first one does work on. It's just a kid, and if people left her alone, nothing bad would have happened.
Oh no, I mean, no.
The second one, like I said, I don't think she shows up to camp expecting to murder everyone.
She just wants to be a good like counselor. You see that? I mean,
and then she hears a story about herself. It kind of flips a switch, and then she sees all these, in her eyes, morally reprehensible things, and starts murdering. From part 3, she's just like, well, it's summertime, best go kill some teenagers again.
Right.
Like, she is a killing machine. And it's like, it shows that whole movie. She doesn't like smile in that movie. She's wearing sunglasses all the time.
Yeah.
She's like,
I love her. I love New York shirt also.
She turns into like a Michael Myers with quips. And it's like, it doesn't matter what any of these people do.
Quips? You mean Freddy with quips?
I was thinking Michael Myers in a way that, like,
when you said quips,
whoever's in my path today is dying.
Right. Okay.
Like, whoever I see today is dead. Well, I just have to figure out the smartest way to do it to where I don't get caught. Like,
so before we end this, I did discuss this a little bit with Alex. So I wanted to ask you the same thing I talked about in the podcast for part 3, that I kind of wish that they had more of a resolve with her character at the end, as in so she was not born a boy that felt like as far as we know, she was not born a boy who felt like he was in the wrong body. Yeah. She was born a boy whose aunt forced her to become a girl. Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, I thought, the third one would have been a good time to have some kind of, resolve with her just like being in a mental institution or something, and just talking about how much that fucked her up, or just something, instead of just like, because there are reasons that she's a fucked up human being. So, what's your opinion on that?
Okay, first of all, I don't think. Like, I do think that that's, like, a lot of, like, modern day thought put into these movies that are almost 40 years old.
Yeah, I think that's actually interesting, because it is, like, we are living in a time period where I don't know if I would have even had that idea had we not been living in this time, because, she's not actually a transsexual. She's, she is, but it was forced upon her. It wasn't something that
Basically, when I think it is around this time, I might be wrong, around the early 80s. It might have been the later 80s when Henry Lee Lucas was arrested.
It was in the 70s.
Okay, then there you go. So does Angela's story kind of not echo a little bit of Henry Lee Lucas's thing, as far as like the way that
maybe more
unconsensual gender play was put on them at a young age?
I think Otis Toole more than Henry Lee Lucas, maybe.
No, Well, okay. That's what I mean. But Henry Lucas was the one that had to wear a dress and go to school and stuff, right? That was Tool.
Well, he didn't. He was just gay. But
no. Henry Lucas was forced to wear a dress and go to school in kindergarten.
Okay, maybe I did just. Okay, sorry, I've forgotten all about that. Okay.
So here, we'll cut all that part out where we were arguing about, and do the part where I start sounding really smart, because that's what I thought about when I was watching it.
You're right.
I was like, this is a child who's forced to do this kind of gender play against their will and then becomes a killer. But I really...
Richard Speck was also around, the 70s or 80s, and he was a gender bender.
Yeah, but I meant like...
No, I know what you mean. Like forced to do this. Like it wasn't
5-7 years old.
Right. He wasn't, and like, he didn't feel like he was born in the wrong body. He was forced to do to play another role.
Mm-hmm. But it's also, it's kind of the part why I never liked Sleepaway Camp. First of all, like, some people try to think on like having, a queer dad, and I totally think that scene is just thrown in there for shock value. There's few, and no psychological or redeeming story qualities to that. And then the final scene, I've never been like shocked that it's like, oh wait, it's a boy.
I was 8, so
no, I get that, but it's like, as me watching it last night as a 34-year-old.
What about your partner?
Like, am I looking at a 14-year-old's dick right now?
No, you were not. He was a college student.
I know. But as far as the narrative goes,
right? No, that's what you're supposed to be thinking.
Like, I'm not about it. Like,
what did your partner? Did she see it?
Yeah, they'd seen it before.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah, she'd seen it before, and
okay.
like, so it wasn't like a shock, but
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
she knew I was really grumpy about watching this movie. Like, and then I was like, but then we get to watch 2 and 3.
Yeah, and that's Well, that concludes our first YouTube exclusive. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe, click notifications, so you'll be notified of our podcast coming out on here, as well as these exclusives. You can also subscribe to us on any podcast platform. We're on all of them. Gag Me with a Knife. And follow us on Instagram, Gag Me with a Knife Podcast. So we'll see you next time. Thank you, Brad, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right.
When I look into your eyes, it comes as no surprise. You're slipping away. Angel, you're the love of my life. It's so cold at night. I'm begging you to stay. I know it's all a masquerade. Just what I've been looking for. No other boy can love you more. You're the only girl I adore. You're just what I've been looking for. Time man, your broken heart just don't fall apart. The truth will hold inside. Angel, I don't wanna let you go. I don't wanna let them know the pain you have to hide. I know it's all a big charade. I know you're not afraid. Just the only girl I adore. You're just what I'm looking for. Just what I'm looking for. Just what I've been looking for. No other boy will love you more. You're the only girl I adore. You're just what I've been looking for. You're just what